In the previous class, we introduced the digital signal processing. First, we considered the definition of signal, and we classified the signal into one-dimensional signal and multi-dimensional signal based on the values that are taken by the based on the number of independent variables. Okay, so this is an example of one-dimensional signal. So this is another example of one-dimensional signal, and the image is an example of a two-dimensional signal. Follow? If you consider the video signal is an example of three-dimensional. And there is another way of classifying the signals, okay, based on the independent variables. Normally, in the DSP course, we concentrate on the signals that are functions of time. That is, the independent variable is time. So, based on the values that are taken by the independent variable time, we can classify the signal into analog signal or digital signal. Okay. Strictly speaking, we have a signal called as continuous time signal. Okay. There is another signal called as discrete time signal. Okay. Now we see the difference between the continuous time signal and the discrete time signal. In the previous class, we have seen the difference between analog signal and the continuous time signal. Okay. Follow? But in general, in DSP, we can use the analog signal and CT signal. Analog signal and the continuous time signal can be used as synonyms. Okay. Follow? So, what is an analog signal? Here, in the case of analog signal, the independent variable t can take all possible values from minus infinity to plus infinity. In the case of continuous time signal, here also the independent variable t is taking all possible values from t1 to t2. Okay, that is over a finite interval of time. That is the difference between analog signal and the continuous time signal. What about the digital signal? How can we obtain the digital signal? Normally, the signal can be visible. Continuous time. Here, we can consider the analog signal. The analog signal can be continuous time signal or a discrete time signal. Okay. See, all the analog signals are continuous time signals, but all the continuous time signals are not analog. The duration of the continuous time signal is of infinite duration, then it is analog signal. So that's why we can say that all the analog signals are continuous time, but all the continuous time signals are not analog. So analog signal can be a continuous time signal or discrete time signal. Okay, you write it clearly. Yeah, here I am writing only CT and DT. Yes, you write completely continuous time and the discrete time. So what is the difference between the continuous time and the discrete time signal? See, in the case of continuous time signal, the signal is represented as x of t. Okay. Here, the independent variable is time. Okay. And this t can take all possible values for the interval t1 to t2. Okay. T is a continuum. Okay. Take all possible values for a particular interval of time. So that's why the name continuous time signal. See, it is not the continuous signal. Don't call the continuous time signal as continuous signal. Follow? It's not the continuous signal. It's the continuous time signal. Okay. Similarly, discrete time signal, not the discrete signal. Okay. Understood? The signal can be continuous time or discrete time. Don't call it as simply continuous signal and discrete signal. Okay, so that is not the correct notation. Okay. If you take a continuous time signal and transmit this through a switch. So this is a switch. The switch is open and closed at an equal interval of time. Let the switch is open. After Ts seconds, it will be closed. Again, after Ts seconds, it will be open. Let Ts is the time between the switching and switching on of the on and off of the switch. Understood? See, the input to the signal is x of t. Here x of t is continuous. How it will look like a continuous time signal can be here I am selecting an arbitrary signal. This one. Okay. Is it continuous time or it may be analog also? Okay. Now we try to find the output of this particular switch. Okay. Let y of t is the output. Here we consider a system. That system is a switch, simply a switch. Okay. Follow? Now, what is the output? At let at t equivalent to 0. What is the output? Now, what is the output? Switch is open. Okay. Output is 0. Therefore, you can represent that 0 by a dot like this. Now, close it. Close the switch at t equivalent to Ts. At t equivalent to Ts, the switch is closed. The switch is closed. What is the output now? Output is equivalent to input. Okay. So here, this is the value t equivalent to Ts. At t equivalent to Ts, what is the input? Input amplitude is this one. Is it? So therefore, the same amplitude will appear at t equivalent to T. Follow? Understood. Immediately you close it. That is within a fraction of second. We closed it and immediately open it. Follow? Then what you get? You get a pulse like this, a very short duration pulse. Okay, whose amplitude is equivalent to input at that time. For example, if the input is varying like this, okay, output will also vary in the same manner. Is that right? For example, if this is the variation at the output, we close the switch here and we open the switch here. Then output follow the input. Okay. So therefore, the output will also be like this. Understood? For example, if it is an ideal switch and we are switching and opening in almost 0 seconds, okay, then the output look like a straight line, okay, with amplitude equivalent to the amplitude of the input at t equivalent to t. Correct? Now again close it at t equivalent to, that is after ts seconds. Okay. After ts seconds it will become 2ts. Okay. So here this is the 2ts. At 2ts what is the amplitude? This one. Is it? Then and so on. If you follow like this, again at 3 ts. This is amplitude. See, it is negative, is it? So therefore, at 3 ts, this is a, that is, the output signal is represented by the straight lines. Okay. The strength of the height of the straight line indicates the magnitude at that time instant, magnitude of the input at that time instant, because the switching and closing, opening and closing the switch at an equal intervals of time. Hello? Now, if you observe this, here the independent variable t is taking all possible values, okay. But here t is taking 0, tf, 2tf, and so on. Okay. See, in between 0 and tf, what is the value of the output? Okay. That is 0. So here, this particular independent variable t is taking only a discrete set of values. And one more thing, if you let this spacing between this and this and this and this is same, okay. That is called the uniform space. Then you can consider this as 0, this as 1, this as 2, and this as 3, and so on. Follow? Or otherwise, we obtain this y of t by simply substituting t with n into t. Is it right? Where n can take, n may be 0, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, and so on. This side also. For example, if you let this is minus ts. Okay. Here also you will get 1 output. Okay. At minus ts. So if n equivalent to 0, t is 0. This one. When n equivalent to 1, t equivalent to ts. This. Okay. When n equivalent to 2, t equivalent to 2 ts. Follow? X of t is the continuous time signal. Now what is y of t? Y of t is called as the discrete time signal. Why? Because t is taking a finite set of values or discrete values of 0, 1, 2, 3 like that, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Understood? Therefore, by transmitting this continuous time signal through a switch, an ideal switch, we can get this type of waveform at the output. Okay. So the process of converting a continuous time signal or analog signal to a discrete time signal is called as sampling, and this particular switch is called as the simply sampler. Sampler is the switch. Okay. It it is open and closed at an equal intervals of time. So what this indicates, we are taking the signal only at a particular instance of time. At 0, we have taken at t equivalent to ts, at t equivalent to 2ts, and so on. Okay. So therefore, a discrete time signal can be obtained by sampling the continuous time signal or analog signal. Okay. As I already mentioned, the continuous time signal and the analog signal can be used as synonyms. Okay. Therefore, this can be considered as x of t is CT or analog. So why we are calling it as discrete time signal? Here the independent variable time is taking the discrete values. Okay, so that's why the name discrete time. But here we are denoting both the signals in the same way. Okay. So this signal is denoted as x of t. This is also denoted as y of t. So to distinguish the two signals clearly, okay, here we adapt another notation. Okay. Instead of writing this as y of t, we simply represent this as y of n, okay, where n can be 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So we are replacing this t with n, because in the case of analog signal or continuous time signal, t is taking all possible values. Okay, but here the independent variable time is taking a discrete set of values. Okay. Both are times. This t is time, n is also time. So in order to clearly distinguish between the notation of the continuous time signal and discrete time signal, we are using two different notations. See, here we are using brackets, or we use the parentheses. Okay. Here we are using the brackets. See the difference. This is the notation of the continuous time signal, and this is the notation of the discrete time signal. Take for example, we have the voltage signal. Okay. So this can be written as V of t. If the voltage signal is sampled by using a sampler like this, it is an ideal sampler. Okay. We can represent the sample version as V of n. See, this is the voltage and this is also voltage. But what is the difference? It is continuous time. This is discrete. Okay. Follow? So now you know the meaning of signal and why we consider the signals. What is the reason to consider the signal here? Because signal carry information. Okay. That's why we consider the signal. Now we see the meaning of signal processing. What is signal processing? Take for example, I have a sinusoid. Is it sinusoid? It is a sinusoidal signal, but contaminated with noise. Okay. So if you want to filter out these high frequency variations, see the noise. Here we have the fast. Actually, the signal is varying very slowly. Okay. But here we have some fast variations. Okay. So those are the high frequency components. If you want to eliminate those components, what we do? Simply take a low pass filter like this. Is it a low pass filter? So RC, low pass filter. So if you transmit this through an RC low pass filter, a low pass filter, what will be the output? That is, if you design the filter in such a way that the cutoff frequency of the filter is same as that of the frequency of the sinusoid, so definitely it will transmit only those frequencies and the high frequency components will be eliminated, and you may get the sinusoid, that is filtered out, noise is filtered out. Okay. Here we have a signal, that is the sinusoidal signal. Actually that signal is contaminated with noise. Here what we have done, we transmitted this noisy signal through a low pass filter and eliminated the noise. Okay. So this is the noisy signal, noisy sinusoid. What do you mean by sinusoid? What do you mean by sinusoid? The function that varies sinusoidally is called as sinusoid. Both sine and cosine functions are sinusoids. Is it? Sine and cosine are called as sinusoid because they vary sinusoidally. So it is a noisy sinusoid. This is a filtered out sinusoid. So what type of circuit is this? What we call this circuit? There is one special name for this. Can you tell? This circuit can also be called as integrator. Is it integrator?